See how well does Lee Sin do for Dark Passage, because we've seen so many good Lee Sins come up in European LCS with likes of Aranea, with Diamond Prox, even Cyanide started playing him a little bit. We saw a lot of junglers actually playing their own hand at it, and curious to see how well they do on him.
Well, we're into the bans and the picks here, and Thresh, Orion, and Jarvan, the bans out for Dark Passage, and for Gaming Gear, Elise, Shen, and Zed. First pick coming out though for Dark Passage was the Zac, so same as we saw in the last game as well.
Actually, I think it's swapped. Yes, we saw it last game, and Gaming Gear was one that ran Zac in the top lane, so it looks like...
That's true. You're right.
We're going to see Dark Passage with their own take on it, maybe top lane, maybe jungle. Only Tom's going to really tell, and that's got to kind of make MVS a little bit annoyed, like, come on, I was doing so well on him, I was 2-0, I was doing fantastic, and you're going to take it away from me. But I don't think that die is going to happen that we saw Dark Passage do out of Gaming Gear.
Yeah, the good thing is that they've got the time to talk in between about what went wrong in that half match almost earlier on. Let's not do that dive. Let's calculate that one better next time. So looks like we are going to be seeing Gaming Gear going over for at least one thing that was the same last time, which is that Evelynn in the jungle and the Sona, which last time was with Dark Passage.
Now they're swapping champions across, and Evelynn, I'm really excited to see how well it does, because Diamond Prox, whenever I see an Evelynn, I think of him immediately. He did so well with him the past couple of days. Even, I believe it was Meteos over in North American LCS, just completely stomped some games with her. Really strong champion, really strong in that mid game when you build that true damage kind of build with the spirit of the spectral, what's the lizard one? I can't remember. The one that does the damage for attack damage, whatever. That one. You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Just didn't want to help you out on the way. Well, the picks coming in on the other side here for Dark Passage. Sat right now with the Twitch as the AD carry and a Nami support. So again, a champion that we saw in the game that we're remaking right now. But again, on the other team, it was Gaming Gear that actually had that Twitch before.
Yeah, and he was actually doing really well with them, DeadlyBrother, on that Twitch. And now, gonna see in that bottom lane with the whole Nami. Actually, I really like that combo of having a Twitch and Nami. So you have slow built in with Twitch when you pop the cask on them, and then you have Nami to follow up with the slow as well. When they're slowed down that much, it's really easy to hit a bubble, which creates a very high kill possibility for you. And I want to see how well they actually run that lane. We don't see it too often, but it's actually a very strong combo.
So right now, Mazarine here, obviously picking up for NBS by the looks of things, sat with the Renekton and an Ezreal possibly here coming out for GamingGear.eu.
Okay, so we've seen a lot of Renektons across the board in terms of European LCS. NBS looks like he's going to have his chance at it here in that top lane, and he actually didn't play any of it back in Russia, if I'm not mistaken, in their games, so let's see how, curious to see how well he does in that. But the Ezreal, we saw him obviously in our last game that we just casted. Yeah. That was middle though, and he was actually going to be in a 1v1 bottom lane. So let's see how this one actually goes.
Well, still the possibility that Ezreal could end up in the middle lane here, of course. They were hovering over Ashe, which could then be an option for DeadlyBrother as the AD carry, with Mazarine then taking the Ezreal. That's all up in the air though, and we're going to see now the Dark Passage final two picks. They've got the AD carry and the support in there, the Zac, which again could go in the jungle, could go in towards that top lane. So we'll see what they pick up here. Finally, will be an Ahri. So it looks like Naru definitely wanted that Ahri. And also the fact that they wanted this Kennen in the top lane there for Fabulous, which means that the Zac will go to the jungle.
I was actually wondering why they didn't pick the jungler, because they already saw the opponent's jungler, and that's exactly why. They wanted to make sure, or the other team think that, yeah, we could throw a Zac top lane against you. You're not really sure. And they followed up with the Kennen against Renekton, which was actually a pretty good matchup for him. And then the Ahri, I mean, what's there to be said about her? Just fantastic AP mid champion. You go that DFG, you can be so bursty, you can be very mobile, so you can escape with Gragas' whole combo with that ultimate mixed in with the body slam. Not to mention, if Evelynn tries to gank you, it's not really easy for that to really happen. So you really have a high escape, or high escape mobility, if that even makes sense. Not to mention ganking lanes. Very strong champion for that.
Very strong overall. So picks locked in from this one, and again we're going to be seeing that Gragas coming out here for Mazarine, and he's not a champion that's got no mobility himself either. Right. We should always remember the whole body slam, or the belly slam as it really definitely should be called in my opinion. That'll be coming into play here a lot of the time, and I'm interested to see how this whole matchup ends up going. I mean, we've seen Ahri as probably the most picked mid laner actually in Europe in terms of the LCS. A lot of Ahri being picked up right now to be played.
Elder Lizard, that's what it was. That's what I was looking for. I had to look it up.
You still call it
I hate when I can't remember an item name, but yeah, I mean, we've seen so many Ahris. Actually, a lot more in the past couple of weeks than we saw earlier in the season. And after that first game, it's kind of like, how do you go into the mindset of this game where you're GamingGear.eu, you were ahead, you were winning that game, and then you have to kind of remake that happen. But then again, for Dark Passage, you have that opportunity to restart that early game mistake, which most teams will never get. Like, it's usually that one mistake in a game that will cause you to lose, and they've got to be feeling a lot more confident now because of that.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. You, as you said, don't really get a second chance when you make a mistake like a tower dive that goes wrong for you. So really interested if they can really turn this one on its head and, well, do what they wanted to do first time around. But we said the laning phase was very, very strong here for Dark Passage, so we'll see if they can get that one back in. Let's talk though about level 1 here. That Eve obviously going to be able to move around pretty freely, but on the other side, the likes of the bubble arm possibly from Ari could make it deadly for GamingGear to actually invade. I
think you hit the nail on the head with that one. That's the exact combo they're going to go for if they do want to go for invade. Charm forward with the bubble, then you have a lot of damage behind that. Remember, for GamingGear, I mean, you still have a lot of damage, and the Evelyn, like the ability to scout with that champion early on kind of gives you a little bit of an early game opportunity, I guess I want to say, because you can always go for some counter jungling early on. You can just kind of rush into their blue buff and just sit there and see where the other team's going. But right now, we're actually just seeing both teams just kind of sit there and don't want to go for anything really crazy off the bat, but we already are seeing potential lane swaps coming in.
Yeah, potential lane swaps, and we saw in our last game as well a Vayne-Sona mid lane combo, which were unable to really gain the ultimate advantage from that and take down an early middle turret, which is what they were looking for. And did actually really well, except the whole finishing off of the turret. They got it very low, but at the end of the day, very low doesn't mean down. We're currently seeing, as you can see there, the Twitch just waiting inside of the tri-bush. Always got that ability to stealth up and get away from things if it gets a little bit too hairy for him down there. But GamingGear don't look like they're really going to push something too aggressive. Now, one thing we should always...
No.
Oh, are they? That could have been dangerous here. One thing we should always bear in mind is Evelyn is very, very quick to cross the map. Level 2, get the W, and then push over the top side to maybe steal away the enemy blue as well.
It is a very high possibility. Zach's pretty quick himself clearing out that jungle.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm trying to think, if Alunir wants to gank that top lane, is it going to really happen? Like, is that possibility of that really going to work out? I mean, yeah, you do have the speed, so you can catch up to a Kennen, and I think if MBS lands that stun, we could see potential kill coming in, but it looks like we're actually going to see standard lanes coming in for once, which we don't really see too often.
Yeah, obviously moving away from middle. We saw MBS recalling from the bottom side. He headed off back towards the top. So we are going to have the duos down bottom, the Gragas Ari mid lane, and the Renekton Kennen up in this top lane.
And actually, I was taking a look at runes real quick for Kennen, for Fabulous, and it's actually in 10 fight armor pen, 9 magic pen, and 8% magic pen. So with that Doran's Blade, with 4% lifesteal that he's running, he actually hurts quite a bit, and the auto attack harass coming out of him is really hard for MBS to deal with. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Alunir gank that top lane. However, we already see a lot of pink wards invested into the map out of Dark Passage.
As you would expect as well with that Evelyn around there. Just covering as many entrances that as they can really in this top side, and also the entry down to the bottom side of that jungle. So early game here, if we look down this here, it's very even between the two AD carries, so we'll see if that trend continues here from this one. As I say that, Matillion just missing 1 CS, which doesn't matter. But in this top lane, MBS, I think, going to struggle a little bit earlier on here with just the fact that Kennen with the Doran's Blade in there is going to put good auto attack damage down as this bottom lane getting a little bit close there. Both AD carries going a little bit lower than they probably would have hoped, but both of their supports got the heals coming out as well. And there we see that top lane, the fact that Fabulous, he can do a lot of damage here onto the Renekton.
I think if he landed that shuriken, that would have been a kill, but we already see ReostA coming in bottom for a gank here. However, Spyro does have flash.
And there is a flash coming away, and no real surprise flash away. The possibility of a bubble landing there probably would have meant death, actually, for him, and a first blood going over towards Dark Passage. So they may actually still go in there. There's a slingshot coming down. Inspirro going to get slowed out of this one. Exhaust goes down though, and this could actually turn out dangerous for Dark Passage. They're going to have to back away. Sona has managed to escape. Zach trying to get out of here. Are they going to get that cell division passive down there, blocking everything they can here? That's great block play there coming out of Holythoth.
And a fantastic turnaround out of GamingGear to turn that 3-man dive kind of back on its head, because they got ReostA very low. He almost popped his passive right there, which would have been terrible. But right now, we're seeing Alunir go for a gank on Fabulous. And this could be terrible for him. It's like he knows something's up, because he's playing very passive right now.
Yeah, not wanting to go completely deep onto this one, but there is Alunir coming out. The lightning rush, is it going to be able to save him? The flash away will certainly help, but they flash in for the kill. They're looking to bring that first blood down, and they will manage to get it. There is the kill for Evelyn. First blood, but the turret actually did enough there onto MBS to pull one back, and that's going to be vital, to be honest, for Fabulous up in his top lane.
It is, because Alunir getting that first blood gives him such a strong start in the jungle. He already has that Spirit Stone down. I think his items a little bit quicker, get some boots in a little bit quicker, then he can gank so easily. And now, with that flash speed down for Fabulous, the possibility of Alunir coming into that top lane for another gank is very high.
I'll see if he can continue that trend. Actually, Fabulous coming in here with a second Doran's Blade plus the Amp Tome as well. So certainly going to be giving MBS a few more problems. Obviously, Doran's Shield got some cloth armor in there to help with those auto attacks that do definitely sting from a cannon, even at these lower levels, going in that Doran's Blade start.
Right now, I mean, I think Dark Passage is a little bit nervous. I don't know, because I was watching bottom lane, and we haven't seen a bubble land yet out of Nami, and we've seen Letilian actually miss out on quite a few CS. I'm not sure if it's nerves or if it's just kind of getting going here. But one thing we have to keep in mind for GamingGear.eu, which we mentioned back in week 2 of LCS, is that at 25 minutes, for some reason, they just kind of fall apart. They don't know exactly where to go from there, and I really want to know, have they fixed that problem? Because that's something that could easily hold them back from the World Finals.
Yeah, and that's something that we saw and heard about them when we were over in Moscow for the CIS tournament, and they need to have fixed that really coming into this one, as Naru here going to take some damage in the mid lane. Actually getting knocked back there by the barrel as well, but he won't pop the Spirit Rush. He's not going to be able to do enough damage to pick himself up a kill, but at least escaping from that one. And that's the problem that Agragas is always going to have against Ari, that even if you pull him away with a barrel, he's going to be able to Spirit Rush out.
Yeah, he is, and I believe that Mazarine actually will have a lower cooldown on his ultimate than Naru, so if he can keep doing that multiple times, he's able to get his blue buff a little bit later on, then I think he actually could win that lane quite easily as long as Alunir does come in, which he's going to be spotted here by ReostA.
Yeah, spotted there by the Zac, but you can see the problem with this, with an Evriel? What's an Evriel? An Evelyn. It's an Ezreal and an Evelyn combo together there. But the Evelyn there doing good amounts of damage, having to Elastic Slingshot away there was ReostA. And that will at least keep him safe for now. He's going to go back on his way to farm. But Alunir has put a ward down by the blue buff, so they may be looking to make a play on that once it actually comes back up. There's MBS. Actually, the ultimate being popped there by Fabulous. Not quite got the damage to finish off. And now Alunir is coming in towards his top lane. MBS needs to be really, really careful. There's a lightning rush in. Can he finish off? No, not quite. One more auto attack needed. There's the ulti out of Alunir, and he's going to chase this cannon down. Surely not going to be able to escape this one. Haste Spike coming in. There is the Zac getting involved as well, and he's managed to save his teammate. ReostA might be able to turn this one around. Evelyn going to try and power away from that one, and in the end, no kill, but both two champions going incredibly low.
Yeah, Fabulous had two opportunities there to potentially kill MBS. First one, he actually saw Alunir coming up, so he backed away, and then just fortunately not close enough for that last auto attack, but still bottom lane, they've actually been really aggressive. A lot of damage being traded, but both of them do have a sustained support, so they should be able to heal this up. Not to mention, you have that Vamp Scepter on Letilian, and you have DeadlyBrother, who's going for that very early tier, so his damage early on, as I said in the game previously, that the money you invest into that kind of doesn't make you do anything else in lane, so you're kind of stuck at that flat amount of damage, and Letilian's only going to get stronger.
Yeah, he's only going to get stronger and on his way, and obviously going to be able to keep up kind of with his opponent in terms of getting health back when this damage is exchanged, which up until now there's been a lot of damage exchange down in this bottom lane. So, what have we got coming up next? Blue buff has been started. As I said, it was warded earlier on by Alunir to have the sight on that, but he's not going to be within reach of coming around for a possible steal of it. That will go over to Naru on Ari.
I really like the effort of that ward going down, but because he went top, because he went for that gank and he actually got very low, unfortunately wasn't able to steal their way, which would have been huge because he would have had a blue, Mazarine would have had a blue, and they would have been able to gank a lot easier, but still, going to give this one over to him. And this is where the game starts to get really deadly. Like, game, it's been not as slow as I would imagine off the bat, but I really feel with a Gragas on a team, with an Evelyn, with that whole combo, if they land it perfectly, this game can get very explosive very quickly.
Explosive cast to start it off. I saw what you were going for there. Good, well played, sir. In his top lane, MBS still having troubles with the damage that Fab is putting down onto him, and actually ulti going to be popped from this one. There's actually no one near this one to help MBS out. He will pop his ultimate, but honestly, I don't think he can still challenge for this one. Fabulous actually backing away. Is he going to be able to get into range to do anything? And I give credit to MBS there. He actually was really low when that started, and because of his ultimate, did a lot of damage and was able to survive it.
Yeah, I was really confused by that at first, but definitely did a lot of damage. But the thing is, he kind of just got back to lane, and now he's being forced to back out again. He's already building heavy armor, going for some merc treads. He's actually been kept away from his Sunfire cape, but we do see Alunir trying to go for a gank middle, but he's pretty much standing on top of a ward.
Yeah, Naru actually has his ultimate available here as well, so we'll be able to dash away to safety from this one if Alunir can get anywhere close. And it's probably going to be about Mazarin's barrel here. If he can actually land that in the right position. There is Alunir moving in, and you see how much damage he's taken just from that one. Mazarin is not even involved in this one whatsoever. And look how low Naru actually went from that one. If Gragas had have moved in for the kill with the Ignite as well, they possibly could have got the kill there.
Yeah, I think that's just due to the power that Alunir got from that first blood, able to pick up those 2 long swords and really apply a lot of pressure. Not to mention, he is level 7, so he's been leveling up quite well. But yeah, Mazarin, he got pretty much pushed out, and he hasn't actually went back to buy it. He has 2,400 gold to spend, so we already saw his barrel do some pretty good damage earlier on. It's going to only get worse from here for Dark Passage.
Oh, that was close once again in the middle. We've also got the push coming in. There's the barrel down. Naru picks up that kill down in the bottom lane. Alunir going to get involved. There's a crescendo. Holythoth is a dead man here. Not going to escape that, and the bubble not connecting. Twitch is stealthed up. He will flash away, but can he escape overall? Pops his barrier, but the damage going to be far too high. Inspirro actually finishing it off there, and that will be 2 kills coming down in that bottom lane. Obviously, we did see Naru get the kill 1v1 onto Mazarin in the top. Are they going to put down pressure on the turret? Not particularly. Support and jungler going to back away.
Poor Lutilian during that, he's just, guys, stop following me, I went the other way, go turn around, go the other way, but they just sat on top of him. Great job by them to chase it down, and MBS still being very aggressive in this top lane, even though he really hasn't picked up any other significant items just yet, as the Haunting guys comes in for Fabulous. With those 2 Doran's Blade, his damage is actually extremely high. And one thing about a Kennen is, if he gets going early on, he's really impactful in team fights, but if you stop him early in the beginning, then he really won't do too much, and right now, GamingGear hasn't really been able to shut him down just yet. They did gank him early on, as we do see him doing some good damage again.
Is he going to go in for this? Actually, there is a slicing Maelstrom pop, but MBS just walking away from that one, not having any problems whatsoever.
Boots versus no boots. That's kind of the downside right there. And the early investment into those tier 2 with the Merc Treads definitely worked out for him quite well, but right now Dark Passage just setting up for Dragon and Alunir's top lane, so he's actually not going to be able to hear contest it.
Not going to be able to get anywhere near this one. They may be able to pick up a kill onto Fabulous, but look at this GamingGear actually coming down to try and stop this Dragon happening. There is Fabulous trying to get underneath his turret. Can they finish off? Alunir is there. His teammates tanked up all the damage. Dragon does go over to Dark Passage in that one, but they do manage to pick that kill back. But now the trouble comes down at the bottom. There is the tidal wave coming through. The bubble not quite landing. We've got the exhaust down onto Lutilian as well, but there is the expunge to finish off the kill. And Dark Passage, yes, they've lost that up at top, but picking up the Dragon, getting another kill down bottom, but the Twitch now on 1-1-0.
And we see the mindset of both teams right there. So GamingGear, they wanted to kill Kennen, they wanted to get Fabulous out of the game. However, Dark Passage is like, all right, we'll go for objectives. We'll take a Dragon, we'll end up picking up a kill, coming out very far ahead. And just as it's really hard for Alunir to gank Naru in the mid lane, it's just as hard for ReostA to gank Mazarin.
Yeah, high mobility, both that Gragas and the Ari. Another bubble being thrown there by Holythoth, but not quite landing. I say not landing on Ezreal, it was dodged by DeadlyBrother with that arcane shift. They've actually got good damage onto this bottom outer turret as well here of Dark Passage. Got it to below half HP, which is always another extra bonus onto what already happened previously.
Yeah, and looks like they should just keep farming the double gold as much as possible for Lutilian. He's pretty much tied in CS right now, but he does have a pretty good lead over in terms of total gold. And right now, I'm waiting to see the whole combo that comes out of GamingGear. So we talked earlier on with Lion versus Team Immunity, you know, the whole synergy that Immunity was running with their whole composition, where they needed to make everything land in the team fights perfectly. And GamingGear with the whole Evelynn Gragas combo, if you mess that up, then there goes a significant amount of damage, and we have to see if GamingGear's been able to pull that off, or will be able to pull that off.
Right now, MBS actually headed down towards blue buff. They've got that warded here, but they know that that blue buff is going to be started away. The smite was actually used early there from ReostA, trying to get it over towards Arian. Comes in there, does pick up the kill. Alunir coming in as well, and they're going to go aggressive. Kennan's actually on the top side. This could go really bad for Gaming Gear. There's a slicing maelstrom. Alunir will flash away and comes then back in towards the fight. Naru is going to be in there as well. Everyone really low from this one. Alunir goes down, but ReostA is low. He jumps away. Naru now in trouble as MBS will pick off that and the double buffs. There's a barrel rolling in. That will pop Cell Division, but can they take it down underneath these towers? They are going to get 3 of them. There it is, a finisher. MBS getting a double kill. This is a Renekton that was totally bullied by the Kennen in the top lane. They've just picked up a 3-for-1, and now he's scary again.
Yeah, I mean, it's a phenomenal job by Gaming Gear just to keep putting those wards down, to keep that aggression into the jungle. We've seen Alunir try to take away the red buff multiple times from Dark Passage. We do see some damage being exchanged bottom, but just to have everyone collapse, because we saw Dark Passage, they realized they could go in. Fabulous came down from that top side, and they kind of sandwiched them. However, the positioning of Gaming Gear made his ultimate do pretty much absolutely nothing. They weren't really in range of it, and because of that, they weren't able to get the CC they needed. Naru came in, I guess, a little bit late right there, and come out 3-for-1.
3-for-1. Mazarin going to have his blue buff here as well. Let's not forget, those double buffs, they were transferred quite a lot, actually ended up with NBS in that top lane, which if it wasn't hard enough for the Kennen anyway now, then it's certainly going to become a lot harder. And he's actually got the CS lead up there, MBS, now, after all that's been said and done. He was a push down on bottom. Lithuania doing good damage, but the crescendo comes across. The tidal wave comes in there as well, and this could be very, very dangerous. As Ari going to Spirit Rush in there as well. Can they land the damage? No, not quite got the range there to finish off Inspirro.
And now we're seeing Naru try to go around the map and pick up some kills. He's already 2-1, so he's at that critical point. If he can get a couple of kills, if he can pick up some more items, you know, on top of that DFG, he can really kind of carry the game himself. But right now, Gaming Gear's been able to deter that. They have actually some good ward coverage down towards that bottom side, but in the meantime, Alunir's going top lane. They're trying to go for killing Fabulous on the turret.
Gonna try this 2-man gank coming in. There's a Spirit Rush, the rush coming down, and Fabulous actually gonna get destroyed pretty much here, right underneath the turret. Alunir tanking it up there, sorry, an MBS tanking it up. Not really a problem coming out. Now Mazarin going to take pressure, but he will just body slam his way back underneath the tower.
And Gaming Gear, it seems like they have the number of Dark Passages. They just keep killing Fabulous as much as possible. Looks like they will finally take the turret this time, and by doing this, he's now 1-4. He had such a strong start. I mean, yeah, he got ganked, got killed for first blood, but he did pick up a kill. Behind in CS now, and he needs that zoners to be really effective in these team fights, which right now, Gaming Gear with the lead they have, I think they have the advantage. That Sunfire Cape's almost done for MBS, and when it is, I mean, who's going to be doing the damage against him off of Dark Passage?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Oh, continued body slam coming in there on towards Naru, knocked back by the explosive cast, but can he keep up with him? There's no ultimate here for Naru. He's actually going to have to flash away from this one. Good damage comes down, and he's still chasing him. Spirit Rush is going to be up here in just a second. Charm is going to land, and he turns around with the DFG, gets that kill. Can he escape here from MBS? No, stunned up. MBS comes down and finishes off, but what a play out of Naru to actually turn that one around in the first place.
A game awareness out of him was just fantastic. He flashed to escape because he knew his ultimate was going to be off cooldown very soon. He kept hitting those charms on the Mazarin, and he dodged the barrels and was able to turn that one around. And that's what I was saying before. If he can start to get a couple of kills here, he can really carry the team on his back. And Alunir, I think, coming down for a gank on this bottom lane. But it looks like he's just going to back out right now. Can't really go for anything right there. He's 3-1-5, so that's actually a phenomenal score out of him so far.
And I think they felt that one coming, or whether it was just time to back off to do golems at that very point. Either way, it was good timing out of Dark Passage's bottom lane to get away from Alunir, who's going to be sticking to you. Really, really hard to get away from him as he just saunters on past Zach here towards a bit of farm in the middle. Mazarin says no.
He got one.
Barrel.
He got one. Got 23 gold off that. But right now, I mean, if you look at farm across the board, there's a huge lead mid lane for Mazarin because he has the ability to farm from so far away with those barrels coming in, clearing out the caster minion wave, and then the melee ones right after. But Fab was coming down bottom here. He was spotted by a ward. They're actually not going to pincer him. They're going to go for Dragon here. Yeah, Dragon is up and available, but down in the bottom there, DeadlyBrother picking up a kill onto Latilion, but can Holythoth get away from this on? Alunir chasing it down, will be picked up once again by Inspirro, and now down on the middle lane, we see Fabulous turning things around on towards MBS. Wow, I can't even... Spirit Rush. Spirit Rush, that's the one. Coming down, there is the Zac joining in as well, and there is the shutdown that they've been looking for on this Renekton. Sunfire Cape is what I was actually trying to say, that was finished off earlier on by MBS.
not quite enough health and stuff to keep him alive from that one. And GamingGear actually turning around, picking up the Dragon after that one, though.
Yeah, and Fabulous, he got the shutdown goal, the plus 432 off of that. So he's already punished quite a bit in lane. It's a little bit of a chance to get back in this, and a great job by Dark Passage to respawn. I mean, they lost 2, realized they're going to lose Dragon, so they took a turret instead, and now they actually might be able to take away a little bit more than that, as Alunir is going to be coming in. He's been able to spot ReostA, but Alunir doesn't have his smite up.
Oh, going to be very, very close moving in there. There is that red buff actually taken away by Zach, but can he escape this one? Well, of course he can. He's a Zach. Elastic slingshot away, but Mazarin's coming in there. Here's the body slam and the cast to actually pop the passive, but he's been charmed up now. He's not going to escape that one. That's a brilliant turnaround from Dark Passage, and that is the danger of chasing this Zach with teammates in the area that can react very quickly, and the Zach surviving anyway.
And yeah, both teams have done a great job of reacting when they see someone out of position. To see even more action coming on this bottom lane.
Yeah, and hello, Tyon is probably not going to be able to get himself away from that one either. In the end, stealths up, actually will be able to get away. And that turret is somehow still hanging on in this bottom lane. It was pushed down very low earlier from the Tillion. Well, that's not going to make a difference. They keep it alive just about. And it's only 1-1 in turrets here. We've got 20 minutes, 30 seconds on the board. And, well, both sides doing a great job. As Naru trying to get that blue buff here. But with the Sonar Ezreal combo, probably not worth sticking around. He's going to back off.
And Naru is actually farming up the wolves. He's like, all right, we're pushed up to your turret. I'm going to take away even more from your jungle. And he's catching back up in CS because he was quite far behind. Fabulous, luckily for him, does back away from MBS, so they didn't even know that. And looks like Mazarin will be able to get his blue. And with that middle turret going down, Mazarin doesn't really have as much of an opportunity to roam around as Naru does. And we've seen already how impactful both of these AP mid laners can be when they come in for a gank.
Now let's have a look at some of the items here. The AD carries in particular both got that blade of the Ruined King in there. On the other side, for Twitch, he's picked up the Zeal Berserker Greaves. On the other way, of course, that tier is what has kept Ezreal from moving any further on that side, but that's been stacking up for a good while now.
Yeah, and the thing about blue build Ezreal is we always talk about if he falls behind early on, he kind of stays behind, but he's done a great job of kind of keeping up the CS, has those 2 kills, those 2 assists, and it'd be really hard to do it. What? That was all I thought they were actually going to pick up the kill right there, but he did pop his Let's Bounce and got away. Yeah, Let's
Bouncing away from that one, and now the pressure is turned in this bottom lane, and GamingGear trying to keep that turret alive down there. Evelyn actually headed in there. He's already been spotted by a pink ward moving down onto this bottom side of the map, so Dark Passage should know that this is about to happen to them. There's no minions in there at this point now, so they probably can't push too heavily on towards that turret, but actually Twitch and Nami backing away from that, and now we see Gragas and Renekton headed down towards this bottom lane as well, so the action could certainly happen. A bubble will actually miss in there as MBS gonna get charmed up there for a second. Barrel comes across the side, there's a crescendo, there's a kill for DeadlyBrother, and Holythoth not gonna escape that one. They get the turret and the 2 kills as well. A brilliant bit of work coming out of GamingGear. Yeah, and Mazarin and MBS, they stalled long enough middle just to kind of keep Naru away as well as Fabulous so they can pick up those 2 kills. They're actually not done just yet. The explosive cask is up, so we could see Fabulous get bursted down here if he does overextend just a little bit further. There's the danger as well. When you think you're safe on the turret, there's no minions there. It only takes that Gragas ultimate to come flying at you and pull you straight out into the rest of the team. But GamingGear have actually rotated completely around to this middle lane, and with 4 men there for them, going to be 5 in a second, absolutely nobody in the area for Dark Passage. This is going to be another turret straight after the last one, puts them now a good almost 4,000 gold into the lead. And yeah, but right now, Joe, we're approaching that 25-minute mark, as we mentioned early on in the game. Can they kind of keep this ability to keep pushing right now, keep this pressure on, and we're going to find out if they've been able to fix that over the time they've had since the CIS tournament back in Moscow. Well, we'll find out. They're certainly commanding position, that's for sure. Looking very, very strong. Right now, items for the mid laners at DFG obviously came out earlier from Naru. On the other side, being matched by the Nomicon plus a needlessly large rod coming out there. MBS waits for Naru in the top lane. Mazarin just pushing out middle as well. He lost a little bit when that turret went down, like you said, not able to roam so freely for that one, just for the danger of anything being pushed back. Dark Passage, though, doing a good thing and actually sending 3 men down to the bottom lane to try and even things up in gold and take down the outer turret. And Alunir is coming bottom yet again.
sure if they're actually going to be able to go for this one, but they do back away. And I'm thinking, where's the next point of action? Where are we going to see a fight break out? And I'm imagining it will be at that dragon when it does respawn. And both teams with where they're at, I'm trying to think who has more damage in these fights. And I think if GamingGear, if they do land their ultimates onto the right targets with that Evelyn, with that Gragas, then they will have a clear advantage over Dark Passage, where Dark Passage just has a lot of mobility, with the Zac, with the Nami to speed people up, the disengage out of her, not to mention a Kennen who can run around, and then you have Ahri with that ultimate, just spirit rushing in and out of the fight, and it's all about them. If they can dodge that cast, then they can turn these fights around. Yeah, you can't really underestimate how big Mazarine's going to be in this one with his barrel to knock. I mean, if you look at the lineup, you've got to have Kennen and Zac. They've got to be right on top of everyone with their ultimates going. If you can knock them away with a cast, that's going to stop so much damage. And the thing is, if he ults Fabulous into his own team, he's kind of killing his team because you have the Zonias up on him right now. So it's all about if he can position that barrel correctly. And I'd imagine so. He's been practicing it quite a bit. And Dragon should be coming up really soon here. As you see right now, GamingGear, they're set up for it to kind of take it or even potentially go for a kill here. Well, Artilleon is coming from the bottom side. Fabulous from top side, along with Zac as well. So actually going to get started there, the Dragon from the backside, and that's going to mean a bit of damage for Inspirro as we see Nami throw the bubble in. GamingGear decide, can we really do this one right now? There's a body slam away from the charm. And the orb coming out of Ahri, but Dragon still remains, still a possibility for both of these teams. All 10 players are now on the bottom side of the map at this point. As Naru going to have to use his ultimate to just dash away from this one, and that could be really dangerous if they end up fighting. Yeah, the thing was, he was off by himself. He wasn't grouped up with his team, but here we go. We're actually going to see GamingGear started off. We do have Fabulous with his ultimate available, which can be crucial in this fight. And it looks like Dark Passage actually might go for engage here. Oh, Dragon going very, very low. There's a tidal wave coming across. True Shot Barrage will join it in as well. Dragon is still up here, and it is actually going to be taken down by Dark Passage. See GamingGear trying to get involved on this one. There's a big crescendo. The barrel actually knocking everyone away from that one, but they've picked up the initial 2 kills. We see that Dark Passage trying now to move away from this one, but they're still chasing. Ezreal going low, pops his barrier. The orb will do a lot of damage, and actually Fabulous picks up the kill from it as well. Now it's Mazarine who's taken a lot. He will have to go away burning from the ignite, and they managed to pick up those kills coming away, and Naru now going to have his ultimate back, but they're not going to be able to keep chasing. Oh, I think they might actually be able to catch Sona here with the charm. Yeah, and the DFG was actually using there as well. Question is, can they land any more into him? There's Zac from the backside, and Inspirro, he stopped to clear out that ward there with the Oracle that he had on, and it's cost him his life. Yeah, it did. It was really unfortunate, but that was great timing by Naru. I mean, he used his ultimate earlier just to kind of escape the damage that GamingGear was going to put out. Came back up at the right time, and in the end, they ended up taking the Dragon in that fight. And we just saw, I mean, we talked about the explosive cast, how critical and impactful it can be in these fights. And you just saw him knock 2 people in his own team, easy targets to burst down, and that was a fantastic barrel. Not to mention the whole combo they pulled off. The Evelyn ulted to set it all up, and the crescendo falling in to stun them with the cask. And GamingGear, I mean, even though they lost the Dragon, they lost a huge lead that they had, they're still looking very strong. So, 15 for 9,000 gold. It's really not a lot of gold at this point. And that kind of means that GamingGear, the lead that they had coming into this one, has somewhat gone away from them. We see some more items being picked up. Spirit Visage, for example, for NBS coming around. The Locket now added in as well over for ReostA Zac. So that's another bonus coming out for Dark Passage in the team fights. And Holythoth, he's actually built something, well, not built something, which is kind of weird. We don't see a Ruby Sightstone or a Sightstone at all out of him, which is really unique. He actually went for the cooldown boots, he went for the Kennel Gem, the Cage's Lucky Pick, and a Philostone. So rubbing that double GP10, which was kind of more known in Season 2, running this much GP10 kind of thing. And it kind of works out, because with that money he's getting over time, you can invest those into wards instead of investing into that Sightstone. Oh, we're going to see another fight kick off here in the jungle. Both teams kind of facing up to each other there, but then both backing away just as quickly from one another. There's the ward taken away. So, what's the next move here? GamingGear actually headed north right now, up towards that Baron Pit area. There's a ward that they've just gone over, so they know that they've been spotted headed in that direction. There are no more wards on this top side of the map by Baron
for Dark Passage. So they either make a choice now to go up mid lane or to go in there and make sure that that Baron's not started.
Yeah, I mean, the lack of wards, I understand what Holythoth was going for. He didn't really need to build into a Sightstone because there's an Evelyn on the other team, but you're seeing that lack of vision is going to end up hurting as the game goes on. We're going to see a pincer move come in. This could be very bad for Dark Passage.
Pincer move is going to come down. There's the Evelyn ultimate. Fabulous going to pop his with the Zhonya's as well there. He's not doing much damage in his current position, and no kill up until now. MBS managing to walk away there. And in the end, no kill for either side coming down from that one. But it was a dangerous play out of both teams, to be honest. You know, Dark Passage taking the advantage in terms of the positioning there and thinking, okay, we can push this top tower. But they also have the danger of that push coming in from the side to really split them up. But they are going to finally be able to push down that inner middle turret. Big pickup.
Yeah, and they got Gaming Gear to invest in 4 ultimates in that fight, and they were able to only use that Ken ultimate and the Nami ulti, not to mention the spray and pray to really escape, but it's a great job of them to use Mazarine's ulti as a disengage for themselves, using the barrel to knock them further away. And the lack of wards, it seems like Dark Passage, they don't want to wait for Gaming Gear to make a play. They want to be the ones controlling the game, and right now Alunir's going in, but whew, that damage coming back.
Yeah, gets the DFG to the face from Naru as well. Lost pretty much half of his health just from that, as Naru actually going quite aggressive in there. There's a Blade of the Ruin King used, but DeadlyBrother going to get burst down, but the kills are going to rain in here for Gaming Gear. Great turnaround, and again, barrel and crescendo combo worked out perfectly for him. And look at this, they're turning, they're going to Baron.
They should be able to. I mean, you see right now, Latilian's actually bottom lane. We do have ReostA though. Zach can easily steal away a Baron if he jumps over that wall and just kind of smites it away, and not to mention that Let's Bounce is going to knock them up. And this is a very big play out of Gaming Gear if they go for this.
Wow, MBS just flashed out the back there to stop the Zach diving over the top from that one. They're still doing the Baron. It is down below half HP right now, but Zach is still hanging around, but he can't make the jump. He'll get stunned up for it. Actually will flash in there, but it's going to be taken anyway. Anyway, that's a good pickup here for GamingGear.eu, but we see the Twitch doing tons of damage to them. He's picked off at the back. Zach got his passive, but he's going to go down as well. There's nothing to save him from that, and that will be another couple of kills coming down, and double it was in the end for Mazarine, plus the all-important Baron.
Yeah, he's actually the one that got it too with this Q, so he was able to keep that even. ReostA, that's actually a very ballsy play, just to smite over that wall, or flash over the wall to smite it down. And Gaming Gear, it seems like they caught Dark Passage off guard. We just saw Naru and Fabulous kind of fight middle, that little skirmish. I'm still confused why they went in for it, but maybe...
they thought they were going to get DeadlyBrother. He'd already used his barrier from that one, and they'd used the DFG on him, so I think they thought, okay, we can probably have him, but...
I think they also mistimed the crescendo. I think they thought it was down, and then went in for the fight, and then Mazarine's ultimate was obviously going to be down, but the thing is, Kraga's ulti with the Morel Nomicon isn't on a long cooldown at all, so he's able to just turn that around, and obviously, as you can see, those 2 kills ended up giving Gaming Gear Baron.
Great pickup, but still not a massive gold lead that they have, even after all those kills there, and the Baron pickup. They're actually behind on turrets as well, and we said it before that 25 minutes was always a point that Gaming Gear were kind of singled out to be weak at. And so far they're doing a good job, but certainly not running at the pace that they were at 15 minutes into this game. So we'll see how this all develops. Obviously with that Baron buff in there now, got a bit of time to really do what they want. This Dragon will cement their lead in terms of gold as well, but they're going to have to start pushing some objectives.
Yeah, and where Dark Passage, the ability for them to keep so close in gold is their control of this Dragon throughout the game. They've been able to take as many as possible, not to mention they're up 4 turrets to 3, so they're kind of keeping that lead to a minimum. But the Baron buff, it kind of swings things for Gaming Gear. However, you know, right now, we see Naru pushing that top lane, so someone's going to have to back and deal with that, and they're preventing Gaming Gear right now from actually going for a push.
Yeah, actually, pretty much the entire team is going to try and react to Naru on this top side of the map. 4 out of 5 actually heading through their own jungle. In the end, Naru just recalling. And as you said, that's just a great time waster, if nothing else, from Dark Passage's side of things to let that Baron buff run out, of which it's, I think, round about half of its cooldown right now. So that's going to be gone pretty much soon.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, with a Baron, you obviously want to be pushing, but we do see Dark Passage actually going for an engage, and Alunir, he's caught.
He is going to be caught. There's a tidal wave. Alunir flashing away, but he's not going to be able to escape Naru. Actually, it's ReostA that gets in there to make sure that that one's locked up. There is Twitch taking a lot of damage. They go straight in onto him, but Mazarine locked up in the bubble. He's going to go down from that one as well, and that will be a 2 for 0 here for Dark Passage as they try to get away. Charm landing on the Inspirro. MBS seem to want a bit of the action there, but honestly, they just walk away from him. That charm really locking up Inspirro, putting his life in danger as well. But a great turnaround fight there for Dark Passage, and that's really what they have to do right now, is to just take 2 kills and get away again.
Thing is, I don't think they should be able to do that against a Baroned up GamingGear. I mean, taking those 2 kills for nothing. They caught Alunir out of position. You saw the Zonies come up. I mean, yeah, it's good. You stay alive from it. But on the flip side, if your team doesn't back you up when your zone just popped, you're kind of just left out there stranded. But as you see right there, MBS, he's still very tanky with his items. It's really hard for Naru to really do any damage to him just yet. But, I mean, like you said before, 25 minutes, they were looking pretty good, but right now they're not looking too great.
Wow, actually Naru been engaged on there by DeadlyBrother, and just backs away from it. Did actually use his ultimate to make sure that he could escape from that, and right now GamingGear are looking to push objectives. They're actually going straight down the middle of the map, as we are going to see MBS slicing into that bubble, but he's forced Dark Passage as AD carry and support to the top side of the map, which means they're nowhere near this inner turret to start that defense going, and that will mean a turret back for GamingGear, and leveling is up then at 4 apiece.
Yeah, great job by them, and I was kind of confused. Why didn't they do that a little bit earlier? They're just pushing things out, but just like you said, they caught him off guard, they caught him out of position and took an objective, and that's what they need to keep doing if they want to extend this goal lead. For Dark Passage, with this Baron buff going to be gone, I think they might want to force another fight, because when they force the fights, they've actually been doing very well.
So, GamingGear waiting off to the side here by the Wraiths, and as MBS comes around the corner, he sees that quite a lot of people there. They have that ward over the top just after that as well, but that will be taken down thanks to Holythoth Oracle. We've got one over on the other side for Inspirro as well. And all of a sudden, GamingGear, after that great push down middle where they caught Dark Passage out of position, they now back away completely from it.
Yeah, and I think that's due to, you can see that they want, or where they want to fight just based on wards. So with that ward over the Wraith camp, or into the Wraith camp, they want to be able to spot Zach coming in. They want to be able to stop ReostA from pretty much landing on the entire team and Let's bouncing, and they want to still consistently fight around this middle lane, but Dark Passage have been able to push up these other lanes, and thing is, I don't think either team kind of feels like they have a lead right now, which in terms of gold, no one really has, as they're pretty much tied up, and it's going to come down to in about 5 to 10 minutes when that Baron, actually no less than that, when Baron comes up, what team's going to be able to take it, what team's going to be able to defend it, and maybe what team really has that control of the vision, because Holythoth's Oracle is now gone.
Really, really close game between these two, and a fantastic show what these international wildcard teams are in fact capable of. And right now, GamingGear on the bottom side of the jungle, they're looking to catch someone. Actually, Naru gonna land a full combo there on towards Alunir. Half of his health gone just from that there.
But right now, GamingGear, even though he did drop that low, they do have an Oracle on Inspirro, so they're going to be clearing all these wards, they're going to be putting a lot down, and they want to make their move on this bottom turret. And this is going to be the time for Dark Passage to really force a fight here. As long as they can get on top of the team with that Cannon ultimate, with the Zac ultimate, then they can just shred through them. And I would imagine, look for Holythoth's ultimate to come out to be that big engage for Dark Passage.
Well, we've got Zhonya's pretty much across the board here, both 2 over with Dark Passages, Kennen and Ari, and 1 now with Evelyn as well. But they're really going to come into play once this next fight actually rocks around. Fabulous actually losing a lot of health there thanks to that Gragas barrel over the wall. He's got that Rabadon's Death Cap and Void Staff added in as well. So his damage is ridiculously high right now. The question is whether they can actually land the combo that they're going to be looking for. They're pushing out this bottom wave on towards the turret. Ezreal always going to be a threat as well in this position.
I think GamingGear realized that, oh wait, we have an Ezreal and a Gragas. We can just poke them down constantly and be able to get objectives for free, as they're currently doing. You just see one barrel takes Holythoth pretty low, but I mean, with the whole Ezreal, with that blue build, with that Mirror Manodon, with the Iceborne Gauntlets, you have that ability to really poke quite a bit. GamingGear, I wouldn't be surprised if they keep this up for quite a while.
Well, they're still hanging around there. They're still going to keep that poke coming in. And really, it's Nami that's going to be able to keep them alive at that stage and keep holding on to this position. They don't want to let this inner turret go. I'll mean then only the top lane would have an inner turret left if GamingGear were able to force this one down. But you've always got that threat of the Zac diving in from the backside where you weren't expecting him there. And that combo coming around with the Ezreal right on top, using his Zhonya's Hourglass to keep himself alive in the middle of the fight as well. ReostA actually getting involved there. Are they going to go for this one? Naru getting hit by Ezreal, and When those Iceborne gauntlets on, it actually becomes quite difficult as ReostA is going to dive over the top of them here, but what's his real target from this one? It's hard to actually decide on, as MBS is going to go diving in. There's True Shot Barrage coming around the side, but he's pretty much alone in this one. The rest of Gaming Gear have to get involved. There's Alunir dropping his ulti down, flashes away from Dark Passive, but Dark Passage, and there is the big fight coming down. Crescendo comes in as well. ReostA right on top of them. His passive is going to get popped. MBS will die to the poison from Twitch, and Dark Passage could actually keep going with this one right now. With a bubble landing on towards DeadlyBrother, he actually gets to slow down onto Twitch, and they have to turn around. And now Gaming Gear themselves are turning things around. Are they going to be able to get in there for the kill? Zach, of course, did come back up and is able to stay alive from it. So in the end, turns into just a 1-for-0 after a very prolonged fight.
And I really want to give Naru a lot of credit in that fight, because he kept Mazarine pushed out. If you saw throughout the entire time, Mazarine, he had his ultimate available till that last point when ReostA dove on top of him, and then he was forced to use the ultimate defensively instead of offensively when Dark Passage was so low. That was just a great use out of their champion's mechanics. And right now, you know, Inspirro, well, actually the entirety of GamingGear.eu, they don't have the Lock of the Iron Solari. They don't have that extra shield against this double AP composition that they're really going to need. For Inspirro, he's building towards it, but it might be just a little bit too late, or maybe Dark Passage, that's kind of the bomb that's ticking. If they can force these fights before he's able to get that item, then they'll be able to win these fights. But right now, Baron's being started. No one for Gaming Gear actually has vision of this.
No one's anywhere near this one here for Gaming Gear. We see the Gragas starting to work his way over, but Baron already down to less than half HP. Can they finish this one off? There's a True Shot Barrage coming across. Doesn't actually hit the barrel. It is the barrel steal coming out from Mazarine in the end. And Gaming Gear saying, doesn't matter that we don't have positioning on it. We've got Mazarine and his big barrel.
That is the danger of a Gragas. That combo coming out does so much damage. It is more than a Smite could possibly ever do. And DeadlyBrother coming up big. The thing is, he ulted through the Baron to actually give him vision, Mazarine vision, so he can actually steal that away. And talked about Baron earlier on when Gaming Gear was going for it. There's no real need to necessarily do it unless you know you can take it quickly. And that might have been honestly the downfall of Dark Passage when they're already playing brilliantly. However, you have to keep in mind, Gaming Gear, last time they had Baron, Dark Passage did fight him, and they actually took 2 kills for 0.
Yeah, it took a couple of kills, stopped them from really doing anything with that Baron. It was funny enough, after the Baron had run out, that they actually managed to take down that inner turret in the middle lane. At this point, they're trying to push out that top lane to go for that inner turret. So we'll see how that fight works out. I don't think that Dark Passage are going to be particularly scared of fighting them on that turret either.
Yeah, I'd have to agree, especially with Latilian coming in with the Infinity Edge. It's going to add in quite a bit of damage with this spray and pray. He has 4 items built up right now, where you see DeadlyBrother actually forced to go into a Banshee's Veil so he can dodge some of the damage, or potentially that charm coming out of Naru. And not to mention Dark Passage, they have great wave clear with that Ahri, with the Twitch, mixing in with Kennen. Clear waves out pretty quickly, but Gaming Gear, they have that poke, they have the ability to keep getting them low. And also they have that region off of Baron to stay here and to stay alive.
And you see that poke coming in there as Fabulous goes down to around just above half HP from the one single barrel, and they're trying to stick towards that left-hand side of the lane so that Mazarine doesn't have the range to get in there and do the damage to them. But quite frankly, that barrel's got the range on it as well. True Shot Barrage comes through. Is that going to be enough damage done to force them away from this turret? Yes, it is. And that is going to be another inner turret picked up here for GamingGear.eu.
Yeah, Dark Passage has to give that one up. And right now, look for the flash engage out of Inspirro to really start this fight off. Because if you get Naru caught with it, and then you can burst him down with the Gragas, then he's gone. He won't even have time to zone as that.
Throwing out a charm there, but again, this Ezreal, the poke that you can throw out there, and the annoyance of the slow afterwards makes it just easier for everything else to be landing onto them after that. But Gaming Gear putting down now the damage onto the turret, half of its health already gone. Bubble comes in, there's a tidal wave as well. Are they going to go for the fight? It looks like they are trying to engage. Inspirro is going to go down. Holythoth will actually pick up that kill. Is ReostA going to get the dive across here with Elastic Slingshot? I think they're just happy to have forced them away from that inhibitor turret.
And look at these death timers right now. Inspirro had a minute death, a minute respawn time on that, and that is just getting ridiculous. He had Crescendo up, he had Flash up, but within that charm time, they were able to burst him down before anything can happen. And Gaming Gear, with that Baron buff, they have to be very careful here because Dark Passage, they were able to keep their inhibitor alive, and they can go for a counter push.
A lot of wards down here as well, and Dark Passage is just trying to push out wherever they can. We might see Twitch going head-to-head with Renekton here in just a couple of seconds down on this bottom lane, but not a fight, I think, As I say that, I was going to say not a fight that Twitch might want to take, but I might be wrong about this one. He is going to go for it. Actually missed the Venom cast there, but is he going to keep going? Spray and pray going down. Here comes Zach as well. MBS going to be completely slowed. Here comes Nami to help things out. The barrier used by the Letiolon, and that will be another kill coming down for Dark Passage. Really, really well done.
I was actually surprised at how close that was. I mean, with Latilian actually going in and trying to start the fight himself against a Renekton, he still got very low. He almost got taken down, and luckily Nami was there to save his life. And right now, Dark Passage is taking every advantage they could possibly get. Fabus was able to push out that top lane, 288 CS, because we haven't even looked at it throughout the game. He's leading quite heavily when he was shut down so well in lane by GamingGear. You see even middle lane is a slight advantage for Naru, and the group's up as 4 right now, going to be pushing this middle turret here.
And why not? I mean, turning this one completely around. Just a couple of moments ago, it was GamingGear.Eu that were pressuring the inhibitor turrets, and right now, Dark Passage have got this one down to pretty much half health. Just from the Tillion, they're hammering away on it with that Twitch, and they'll be happy with what that's brought them. We've got, as you can see in the top left, a Dragon coming up in just over a minute, but we're almost 45 minutes into this game. The Dragon counting for less and less each time that it comes up, but still a bonus if they manage to do that. But look at this. They lock up the Gragas in the bubble, and then they're able to get enough damage down to take the first inhibitor turret of the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's where we're at. If you die, if you lose one person on your team, you're going to lose a major objective, which this time it was an inhibitor turret. GamingGear, they're even potentially trying to chase them down here, and with that Dragon, we do see Dark Passage pick that up. It'll pretty much be dead even in gold at 45 minutes in, and GamingGear, we talked about that 25-minute mark. Oh, they're going to catch ReostA.
Oh.
Or
yeah,
he's going to walk away.
Yeah, I mean, he's Zach as well, right? So he's just going to say elastic slingshot, see you later, and heads off towards the bottom side of the map, actually running away from the base. And it looks like GamingGear are going to try and capitalize this one, grouping up now on that mid lane, but with Kennen and Ari both there, honestly, there's not really a lot that they can do. 2-minute timer now coming down for Baron as well, and that surely is going to be a big thing. And by all rights, GamingGear should have lost that last one if it weren't for Mazarin's, you know, him getting out of the base first and getting into position, and a great combo to actually steal it away. That probably should have been Dark Passage's Baron. We'll see how this next fight turns out.
Yeah, the thing is, they've been doing so well against GamingGear when they're Baroned up, when they don't have one themselves. Obviously can't have two at the same time, but just think of how deadly it'd be if they did have it. And here's the engage.
They're setting up a big fight from this on. Tidal Wave going to be good. Azanya's not popped there by Kennen. We see Twitch at the bottom side trying to take down Alunir. Twitch now being forced out of the fight, and Alunir actually surviving for now from this one. He was seeking from the Ignite and the Poison, but that didn't work out for him. And that will be a 3-for-1 here in favor of GamingGear. And I'm wondering if they're going to try and push it through for a win with just this one inhib down.
They can. I mean, look at the death timers for Dark Passage right now, and considering, oh, we do see the engage coming out of Dark Passage yet again as Naru gets caught.
They've got to do as much damage as they can here, Dark Passage, without trying to stay alive at the same time. Naru actually going to go down, but Alunir will fall there on that backside as well. Have they now got the damage here to get at least one of these Nexus turrets? I think so, with the Ezreal and that Renekton hammering away. There is the first one down. It's still a 1 versus 4 here technically, but this Zac so annoying in this scenario. Able to get in there, do damage, still very, very tanky as they focus off towards the turret. There's the damage coming over towards Mazarin, who's now tanking up the turret. Will throw the barrel towards him and flash away from the body slam. But in the meantime, GamingGear are focusing down here on the Nexus. Just a few more hits will do it for them. DeadlyBrother is concentrating on it, and that will be the victory here for GamingGear.EU over Dark Passage in their first game of the International Wildcard Tournament.
And the thing was, that last fight was so big for them, where Dark Passage, they were the ones to force the fight. They were the ones to engage, and the quick reactions out there were able to turn that fight around, able to pick up those 3 kills on crucial targets, which, you know, Fabus, he was killed before he could zone us. He was killed before he could use his ultimate in the right position, and just with that ultimate, Gragas was able to make that big play happen.
No, GamingGear showing that 25-minute barrier mental block that they've seemed to have before when it came, you know, into the qualifiers. They seem to have got past that, although it wasn't without its shaky points, I think we have to say. It wasn't all peachy at that point, and they did lose a couple of team fights. As I said, they should have probably lost that second Baron as well, if not for the amazing steal coming out from Mazarin. But that all doesn't matter anymore. They've pushed through when they had the strength. They've had the team fight that's gone their way, and they've picked up victory. A good win for the group stage.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I think it shows that how far they've come in those, you know, in this past couple of months, is their fact that they kept dying with Baron buff. and yet they were still able to keep calm, still able to turn the game around and pick up the win for themselves, which, you know, if they want to go to World Finals, they have to be able to do that consistently. And I mean, Dark Passage, they didn't play bad at all. They played quite well for the entirety of the game, even with Fabulous getting camped in the top lane, getting killed. He was 1-4 at the end of that entire laning phase. And also, whoever was calling for them, the engages they decide to go for, I really have to respect that, because sometimes in this kind of high-pressure situation, a lot of teams would be really hesitant and play really safe, and yet they still were being ballsy. They still wanted to force these fights. Brilliant performance overall. Guys, we're going to take a short break here, but when we come back, Lion Gaming's Hacker V2, I can get it out there in the end, we'll join Shox on stage to talk about their wildcard game earlier on. Then it's time for the next 2 games of the day. Dark Passage versus Team Immunity, and Gaming Gear taking on Pain Gaming. The International Wildcard Tournament live from Games.